Welcome back, Keepers of the Flame. Okay, so energy's coming in, registering, yada, yada, yada. I'm in a 12th house stellium, so these energies hit a little different. It was Scorpio too, so when Mars squares Saturn, I'm like, ooh. It just sounds terrible. I know it does. Okay, so everybody else is like, ooh, it's gonna be crunchy, it's gonna be cranky, it's gonna be blah 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 blah. And I'm like, so but my Saturn is riding my Pluto in Libra, so translation, they're not conjunct, they're conjoined in Libra. So what's happening for energy, as far as I'm feeling it, is like it's a okay, what do we got to do? Mars, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna do it? And it's Saturn. It's just like goat. Mars is like, yeah. And Saturn's like, yeah, do you really know how to balance on those 90-degree ledges with like this much space beneath your hoof? Darling. But you want it. You want to go for it. Have you ever done that? Have you ever like driven through the mountains and you see one of those goats on like fucking 90-degree angle mountainside with like this much ledge? And they're like, what up, homemes? You're like, how the fuck are you even right now? And like the next ledge is like, you know, I don't know how many fucking feet away because the distance is insane, but like, bro, do you need a rope or something? I'm like, no, I got those things. So yeah, that's Mars square Saturn energy that I'm feeling today. How do we get so fucking good that like we can do that for ourselves? How do we get so fucking good? Just fucking climb a fucking slab of a mountain with like, I don't even know, just your balance and your equilibrium and your horns swaying in the fucking breeze. So that's what's hitting for me today. And yeah, it's crunchy over here. It's not. It's, I guess if I were the person I was at the beginning of the year, I would not be. Oh my God, these are magnets? These are not magnets. There's no. They are. Sorry, I didn't know they were magnets though. Okay. Sorry, my girlfriend gave me these. She's like, monkey with these while you're doing your videos. I'm like, okay. And so, and then she's like, what is that clacking noise? I'm like, so, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so the climbing the mountains. So it's time to make a plan. Mars wants you to get going. Mars is like, listen here, the fire's hot and it's right under your bum. And Saturn's like, that's super cute. Good for you. But like, where's your skill level? So installing in your bone marrow, which is Saturn. Saturn rules the bones. Mars is the fire. So getting it all the way bone deep. Bone deep. Like you just feel it in your bones, step into it and be like, this is it right here. This is the flow that I fucking thrive in. 90-degree angle fucking cliff hanging up. And that's, excuse me, that's going to look different for everybody. It's not going to be like, oh, I'm I'm really good at curling up in a cat bed and taking a nap, or I'm excellent at, reading and translating. I'm good at editing. I'm good at making art. I'm good at, creating music. I'm good at whatever it is. It doesn't have to be conventional. What if you're good at like energy healing? What if you're good at like seeing things that people can't see? What if you're good at creating storylines that produce spectacular, miraculous outcomes? What if you're really good at leading people through meditation? What if you're really good at setting up environments for people to thrive in? What if you're really good at making delicious medicinal foods? What if you're good at medicinal gardening? What if you're good at setting up websites, or setting up slideshows, or setting up whatever it is, apps? What if you're good at making apps? And I know, like, AI can do all that stuff, lady. Okay. But there's certain things that, like, I mean, I get done with my, meetings, and I'm like, hey, AI, can you save this to XYZ for me? I can't do that for you. What the fuck? What the fuck? Everybody wants to use AI as a therapist, and I can't even get AI to be like, can you take this file and put it over here in this file? And AI's like, what? Like, I don't understand that. That's ridiculous. And somebody's going to be like, but that's giving them too much power. Okay, well, they're in the process of helping people unalive themselves. So I think that, like, maybe we could make a leap and be like, I want this file that we just recorded put over here in this particular document. Please and thank you. Nope, too much. Too fucking much. Rant over. There's my Mars, Square Saturn. You shall not pass. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, people are getting really overly emotionally attached to a system because we as human beings can't seem to function as human beings. So, another rant. How many minutes? It's only 2 rants in 7 minutes. It's fine. Okay. So how are we going to become that goat? Right? How are we going to do the whole, like, how do you want to harness that and derive it in a particular directive? And I know that, like, everybody's like, oh, the new year starts in 2 weeks or whatever. No, it's not like you're going to have the whole year to drive that chariot forward with the plug ears. Drive the chariot forward with newness. So you're going to have this year to kind of, like, cultivate this energy that you're thinking about right now. And it could be, a complete life upheaval, like, legit. Like, I went to college, I spent 10 years of my life getting a PhD for XYZ, and now I'm gonna go take pictures of birds in the forest and do docu-series on feathered creatures in the woods. Sounds lovely. Good for you. Get to it. How are you gonna get there? What do you gotta set up for yourself? Mars is like, quit your job today. And Saturn is like, listen here, dumbass. That is not going to fly, darling. If you want to study the winged creatures, you must learn to fly yourself. So, what do we need to set up for ourselves? How can we shift this in a stable but, like, yummy bone marrow deep wow way? And I'm not oblivious to the fact that, oh, this is so, like, I spent all this fucking time, all this energy, all this whatever, all this yada yada yada, and now I've got to do it all over the fuck again. Not necessarily like a do-over. It's just a shift of energy, kind of what we need to do with, instead of paying attention to politics, because I'll be goddamned if any one of these commentators has any fucking control over anything but everybody else's blood pressure and stress level and anxiety, and kind of depending on that. So easy when it comes to that content right now, especially with Mars Square Saturn, because that's, medically speaking, that's that fire in your system that's not getting out, like it's bone deep and you're pissed off and whatever else. Avoid that for a while, at least till the end of the year. Avoid the shit out of like commentary and adrenaline, cortisol inducing bullshit. So political commentary is social commentary. Avoid like a plague for right now, because that's how you create disease in the body. It's like stick Mars in the bone marrow and be like, Wah! No, drive it in the direction you want, rather than focusing on the hogwash that's taking the system down. It has to happen this way. If we want the system to crumble, we have to let it crumble. And watching it like a fucking stalking ex-boyfriend is not the modality in which it's going to produce a positive outcome. So just let it crumble. Just, every so often, like every week or so, go ahead and put your fingers to the pulse of it and be like, oh yeah, still alive, damn. And then go, and I'm not talking about a person, I'm talking about the system as a whole. Nobody needs to die. I'm not advocating for death. I'm talking about the pulse of the system itself. Just so we're clear, I don't think anybody needs to die. That's not kosher. So the direction in which you drive this energy, though, that Mars going bone deep, is where you need to okay, where do I feel bone deep passion in my life? Bone deep, just get it. And if it has something to do with anyone else outside of you, Saturn's going to be like, listen here. You can't base anything off of someone else. You have to find your own inner light. You have to do that for yourself. Okay? Because the person, people, place, things, whatever it is on the outside of you, don't have to live in your skin. Okay, so if you're constantly seeking the outside validation or the outside source or the outside whatever, you're going to have a bad time, okay? Real bad time. Like super uber duper bad time. So do the inner stuff. Take it, everything bone deep. Flush out what is in the way. Get to stuff that's like, okay, I'm not really using this. I'm not utilizing it. I'm not functioning with it. It's actually impeding my process of existing in the world. So I'm going to move it. I'm going to shuffle it out. I'm going to blah, 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 whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be physical items. It can be thought processes, belief patterns, blah, 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 blah. Mars in Sagittarius, right? Shite. I'm pretty sure it's in Sagittarius. So that's belief structures. That's exploring the world, exploring your spiritual patterns, your spiritual belief structures, your binding spells keeping you enslaved in a system that worships human sacrifice. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so, and meanwhile, in the underworld, which we are about to, I think the first day of fall has already been, okay, sorry, I am losing time stuff right now. That's one of the things that's shifting for me, is like, how do we process this? What are we going through? So the underworld is now in full focus, at least in the northern hemisphere, because it's spring in the south, spring and summer in the south. So when we come to the underworld, we're told we need to be scared. We need to be terrified. Oh, there's skeletons down there. Oh, there's the ewikiwis. There's the worms. There's scorpions. There's moles. There's voles. There's demons, monsters. The unwanted, the unloved, all the things that people choose to neglect and not comprehend their purpose and their service in the world. So, what are we going to do there? Spend it being scared shitless? We're going to start looking around and find some yum yums. There's golden nuggets on there. That's the only place the golden nuggets exist. Did you know that? In the underworld. In the rivers and the creeks that shuffle the stuff from the underworld up. The great filtration systems of the world, the things that we depend upon to clean the soil, the water. That's what's under the underworld. We should probably stop mining crystals, because those are key components to filtering our water, which we insist on poisoning because the freaking inbred 1% can't. We must destroy all things because we are eternally unfulfilled. Like Davy Jones, when they got that chest, everything turns to ash in their mouths. So, when creating something from this deep, dark underworld, where are your golden nuggets at? Find the golden nuggets. Find your gifts. Find your purpose. Find your delights. Find your whatever it is. And then move it forward. Move it towards a systemic goal. One that's all pervasive. One that gets marrow deep. And it could be anything. It could be, whatever lights you up, like a Christmas tree. And again, this whole productivity thing, it looks different. It feels different. It's different for everybody. Dropping magnets. So, when we think of multi-dimensional fractal ecosystem, right? When we think of that, we need to reconsider how life actually works. Not reconsider. We don't need to reconsider. We need to acknowledge how life actually works. And there's people that need to tear down and destroy things. There's people that need to recreate things. There's people that need to care for the living things. There's people that need to, and no, I'm not talking, what's his face? Kennedy, whatever. I believe you should volunteer those things, not be demanded to do stuffs, whatever you want to call it. That is a choice. You make that choice and you move forward with it. You don't get forced into labor. That's bullshit. And if we weren't so busy praising lazy looking plastic humans, we probably wouldn't have such. Whoops. Anyway, so the narrative behind that was their own fucking fault. They did this to themselves, which is hilarious in my humble opinion. But when we can choose for ourselves the thing that fills our bone marrow, I want to say, when we can cultivate that and develop it for ourselves, drive ourselves into it, it's like a systematic breakdown in and of itself. You become the ship that takes the star of the death down, and you're the vessel for it. So by default, by becoming your authentic, beautiful, wonderful, lovey-dovey, not necessarily in a sense of sovereignty, autonomy, personal authority over yourself, when you can become that, it's like a default destroyer of sorts. It's like it just becomes default. When you focus so much on the narrative of bringing yourself into the world whole and lit up, and you're allowing that fire to go bone deep, you're gonna shift the planet all just by doing that, just by being your authentic self, not going for what you think somebody else wants, not going for the energetic pattern that you've been told will do this, that, and the other thing. It has to come from within. It has to be that bone deep, instinctive, primal drive forward. That's Mars. And again, if you're shaming or blaming anything primal, you need to reassess life at the very core of existence. You have to reassess life. I guess I could do a video on that, but like, if you feel like your root and your sacral chakra or any aspect to do with them is some sort of thing to be shamed or blamed for getting humanity in any way, it's the ignorance around it. When you find suppression of nature of any sort, you are finding a modality in which is seeking power and control over your vital life force energy. I don't need to fight about it. It's the truth. The truth doesn't require your participation. Because it's nature. You can step back entirely and just watch it move all by itself. You don't need to do anything to witness. I mean, if you want to grow a garden, you can help it along. You can put things in the soil, water it, but you don't need to. It's not a requirement for you to partake in the truth. But man, is it a fucking honor. I just want to say. It's a fucking honor to partake in the truth. All right. How are we going to close it off? The goat on the mountain. Go tell it on the mountain. Goat. Tell it on the mountain. L. Ooh. 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 Excuse me while I pick my brain matter up off the floor. So, in old languages, Lel was the word for Saturn. Satan, Saturn. Neptune. Woo! Okay. Creepy. All right. So, I yeah, and that's gonna come too. Is like you're gonna have those windows, those aspects to look through, get a glimpse through. So stay open to those. Keep looking out your window. Keep looking for new things to walk through, prop up, fly in, whatever it is, right? Keep looking for those aspects. Keep being open to seeing things for what they are. And they're all there. It's all there. It has to be. The truth is already right in front of you. It's always there. We just have to be willing to look and see. And then ask the right questions, dissect the right letters, the whatever it is. And find your niche, your niche. Don't let people shame you for it. Don't let people take control of it or manipulate it or tell you if you don't know about this thing, you can't know about that thing. Or if you can't, do XYZ, you can't possibly X, Y, or ABC, whatever the hell it is, right? These people with this crazy narrative around education, thinking that they need to be told what to read it, how to see it, how to function in the world. In a multi-dimensional fractal ecosystem, we are entraining entire armies of people to think exactly the same, perform exactly the same, function the exact same. I used to be shocked at the thought of that. I thought, oh my God, how the fuck did they pull this off? And then, you realize some things. And you're like, why? Why would you need this? And then you're like, oh, okay. And you're like, how? And you're like, oh, okay. But then you start asking yourself, if I want to exist in a different modality, and I'm stepping into that role of existing in a different modality, but I have all these people around me fighting that modality. Like as a healer, the amount of people that do not want to be healed is going to astonish you. People are like, unsolicited advice. Then stop complaining about it. Stop making it the number one issue of your entire existence then. And then you realize, oh, they're being death gripped by a victim narrative that they feed off of. Which I am now allergic to, thankfully. Woohoo. So it's a lot to be up against. So I'm not telling you that the whole Neptunian thing with Saturn, that temptation is going to be there. That temptation to step into, an illusionment. And I think we're starting to figure out that the institutions and the systems themselves were the illusion. It's not, that woo-woo red lamp over there isn't helping anything. Meanwhile, methylene blue. That sound therapy isn't doing anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Vibration doesn't have anything to do with anything. Right here. Little fist in there. Bring it down. Chest plate. That lovely little oof of armor right at the top of your chest. It's called the sun thalamus. You just vibrated your ass into a state of bliss and compassion. You're welcome. Yeah. 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 That's the beauty of it. They can try to control it. They can try to manipulate it. They can try to poison it. They can try blah, 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 right? But everything we already need is inside of us. 90% junk DNA. Fucking unpack that chest. Right? Sort through your glorious DNA. One strand at a time. And you go tell those white coats to go stick it where the sun doesn't shine. Because you have better things to do with your time. And glorious things to do with your energy. Okay. I think we're good. All right. So, I think this might be it for today. Yeah, most likely. Meetings. Just make sure you're on the right crazy train. And if it is going off the rails, at least keep your peace and your flame. Until next time, I love you.